Hello, my friends. This is another field note from the field. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a little stream flowing right in front of me. It's the same one when I recorded up at Big Tasuke. It kind of flows down to where I am now. The trail I took today is called the Chamisa Trail, and it's a classic Santa Fe trail where you haul ass up a mountain and then down a mountain and then back up a mountain and back down. It was one of the first hikes we did when we moved to Santa Fe. I think one of the things that I love most about this one is you walk for, 2.5 miles, and you get to be at this beautiful little creek and you can listen to it. I don't remember when I realized this. It was a while ago, but the sound of a creek running contains every permutation of rhythm, of sound, of frequency, of volume that you could possibly imagine. It's just like a symphony with everything coordinated. I think that might be one of the reasons that our nervous system loves to be near gently running water because there's so much perfectly balanced stimulus. There's something really sacred about just sitting by a babbling brook. I mean, if you read Hermann Hesse's um, Siddhartha, that's the whole point that Buddha sits by a brook and reaches enlightenment. I ain't no Buddha, but it feels like anytime we sit in a place like this, it feels sacred just because of the vivid presence of the natural world that it's right to make an offering. So maybe we'll start by making an offering together. And this offering, I think, is kind of special because I was cleaning out my office and I found this little yellow notebook. And I opened it up and realized that it was a gift that a client and dear friend gave me in 2019, I think. Let's see, I actually have the date in here, but it is the entire Dao De Ching, uh, translated by Stephen Mitchell, that my friend copied out by hand into a notebook while backstage between the scenes at a play he was doing in New York. And it was a way of connecting with the Tao, but also like a deeply, deeply real and powerful sacred gift for me because of the work that we had done together. And I'd totally forgotten about it. And I found it yesterday and just started crying because it's so beautiful. So I just turned to a page randomly and thought we could read it together just as an offering to the land, and to this beautiful river, and to the gentle breeze that's blowing, and then see where we go. So this is verse 29. Do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There's a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being rigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. So right now I'm at the bottom of this hike at the mountain. But right in the middle, when you've hauled ass up the mountain, if you go a little bit off the trail past a sign that literally says trail not maintained and may not be clear, which is a message that essentially says past here you might get lost. If you go past that sign a little bit, you come to a little spot where people have created a medicine wheel. A medicine wheel is a way of just honoring the land and honoring the four directions and above and below. So those north, south, east, west, above, below, and then the center is the heart. The center is the great mystery where all of those energies mix and mingle and alchemize in a way that's utterly unique to each location, each person, each being. And so when I read that verse just now, she lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. There's a sense that seeing things as they are without trying to control them really invites us to be at the center of the wheel, right? Oriented horizontally to all of the directions and all that they represent, and vertically to the sky above, Mother Earth below us, and our own hearts. And when we can stay oriented in that way, then we know what time it is. We know if it's time to be at rest, vigorous, exhausted. And that we all have the capacity to spend time at that centered place. The other thing that comes up as we talk about this is a conversation I had last week with some dear friends and colleagues, and one of them asked me, or just brought up the idea of manifestation. They'd been taking a manifestation course and asked me, what I thought of it, what I thought of the idea of manifestation. And in my experience, manifestation works a little bit differently than it works in kind of the popular imagination, because manifestation is a deep act of connection, and it really only works from the center of the circle. So what I mean by that is, like, if you want to manifest a Lamborghini, that generally isn't going to work. But what is the felt sense? What is the deeper need under that material possession or money or job? Is it for security, safety? If we want to manifest the perfect romantic partnership, maybe the deeper need is to not feel alone. And if we can attune to that, right, not try to control reality, but to really tune in deeply to what's at the centermost part of what our nervous system, our body, our soul, our spirit so deeply needs, then we're not trying to control reality. We're working with it. We're saying, I see what is needed here, and I'm asking for support towards it. And if we can tune into that feeling state, then things tend to unfold, and that unfolding might be what we call manifestation. Right? So as an example, years ago, one of the things I wanted more than anything in the world, and really craved at a soul level, it felt like my whole being was craving it, was adventure, travel. I was broke. I was broke as shit. Uh, but when I tuned into it, it really was a desire for expansion and to have new experiences. Literally a day or two after I had that kind of realization and deep attunement, because I didn't ask for money to travel. I didn't even ask for travel. What I wanted to manifest was that sense of expansion and learning and growth and deepening. I got an offer to get paid to go to Spain to facilitate a thing that I had never done before. And so when we hold that deeper yearning and deeper intention and don't concern ourselves with the content or the how, then really, really magical things can happen. Just something I've been thinking about. And it all happens when we get to the center of that circle. And there's so many ways to wend our way towards the center. Just sitting by this brook or creek or whatever it is does it. Meditation, breath work, being in community, scuba diving, anything that helps us orient to the horizontal and the vertical can bring us to the point of being at the center of the circle. It's a completely mundane, deeply human thing that is also so deeply mystical and magical and beautiful. In many ways, the most beautiful thing in the world. And if you can practice that as a group, you could come into that center place together as individuals. That's when you get a really, really powerful field of coherence that can shift larger fields of chaos. Like the quote from that's attributed to Ilya Prigozhin says, Small islands of coherence have the ability to shift fields of chaos to a higher level. That's not the actual quote, but it's something like that. Mm. All right, my friends, I think that's it for this episode. I'm really glad I got to share this beautiful, beautiful spot with you. I may take some video and make it the video of this episode just so you can see where we are together. All right, everybody, as always, thank you for listening. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. See you again soon.